name's Elena Avila,
Hi, my name's Connor Law.
and we're doing our policy paper on education. Our policy area is, are all students grades K through 12 provided equal education opportunities for success? The nation's current K through 12 education system has resulted in a huge deviation in the resources provided to students based on factors such as geographic location, income, and race. The system is designed to account for factors like poverty and in regional wages. However, the gap still exists. In 2017, it was reported that New Jersey spent around $18,839 per pupil. Conversely, Mississippi only spent around $8,445 per pupil. Moreover, under-resourced K-12 schools impacts students' ability to continue and succeed in education after high school. On top of the disparity in federal spending, K-12 students are in a current state of distant learning due to COVID-19. Although for many students this is not the first time experiencing the transition from face-to-face education to distant learning, there are still many complications that come with it. Our policy alternative is technology in education. Students are not given equal access to technology needed to complete their schoolwork in both traditional and distant learning settings. Children and youth in grades kindergarten through grade 12 are in a current state of distant learning. Distance learning has posed issues for many families who do not have internet at home or are living in poverty. Approximately 21% of children in the United States live in a state of poverty. Around 1.3 million of the students enrolled in our nation's public schools are homeless. Nearly 30 million students depend on their schools for breakfast and lunch. Families living in poverty may not be able to provide their children with technology needed to succeed in distant learning. The National Telecommunications and Information Administration revealed 3.1 million families, 14.1%, with K-12 students do not have internet installed at home or a wireless connection strong enough to support online education. 2/3 of educators reported having students without access to devices or a stable internet at home as a barrier to using digital materials. Research on online learning shows that these programs do not do as well as face-to-face programs and pose great risks to students performing below grade level prior to school closures. Each year, hundreds, if not thousands, of schools face emergency-related closures, most commonly as a result of weather and natural disasters. Our second policy alternative is race and equal opportunity. It has been empirically proven through test scores, high school graduation rates, college attendance, and school discipline statistics that success in education varies based on the race of the student. As of 2016, white students accounted for 48.2% of Americans enrolled in public schools. African Americans accounted for 15.3% and Hispanics 26.4%. Some of this variation is due to the fact that not all students are provided with proper resources they need to succeed. Despite having the same student population, school districts that are predominantly white receive $23 billion more in education fundings than school districts where the majority of students enrolled are of color. In Los Angeles Unified School District, on average, African American students are academically 3.1 grades behind white students. In the nation's largest school district in New York City, white students are 2/3 more likely to be enrolled in AP courses than African American students. In the year 2000, 59% of Hispanics fourth grade were enrolled in public schools, and of that percentage, more than 50% of the students were eligible for free or reduced lunch. Our third policy alternative is impact of K-12 teachers on education. Research has revealed that a child's academic performance is affected by a number of variables, but the teacher has the greatest impact. The best way to measure a teacher's effectiveness is by their performance, not by their education background. High-valued teachers have an influence on their students' long-term outcomes like graduation, college attendance, and earnings. Over the past 50 years, countries with higher math and science expertise have grown significantly faster than those with lower skilled populations. Data shown in the high school graduating class of 2015 suggests that increasing the nation's high school graduation rate from 83 to 90% would generate an additional $3.1 billion in earnings for each graduating class.
Research has shown that Americans who complete higher levels of education are more likely to vote, volunteer, and donate to charity. Our fourth policy alternative is requiring that students falling behind have a tutor. Regardless of income, students who have or are falling behind are offered tutors with no cost. The No Child Left Behind Act of 2001 incorporated a program called Supplemental Education Services, offering tutors to those falling behind. This program lacked participation and quality control. Schools in low-income areas were more likely to require tutoring. In 2006 and 2007, 34.7% of students reportedly received free tutoring. In the past 12 years, research has continued to show the effectiveness of tutoring. School tutoring typically range from $20 to $75 an hour, depending on who is doing the tutoring. The price the school pay for tutoring varies based on their location, the supply, the demand, the educational experience, and the subject being covered. The U.S. Department of Education revealed only 32% of high schools required tutoring for some students in 2014 and 2015. Furthermore, in the same year, only 8% of students participated in required tutoring. As of 2017, the United States' overall high school dropout rate was around 5.4%. 20% of fourth graders, 30% of eighth graders, and 38% of 12th graders scored below basic levels on the National Assessment of Educational Progress Mathematics Assessment. Our fifth policy alternative is education in the U.S. versus other industrialized countries. Based on the most PISA results, the United States is ranked at the middle of the pack on science, math, and reading scores, and fell behind another advanced industrialized nations. The United States' average math score in the PISA was 23 points lower than the average of all nations participating in the survey. 90% of the United States population under the age of 25 have completed high school for the first time in our nation's history as of the year 2017. In 2015, Norway reported the highest total percentage of academic expenditures, spending a reported $15,100 per full-time equivalent student for elementary and secondary education from the years 2005 to the year 2015. In 2015, the United States spent approximately $12,800 per full-time equivalent student for elementary and secondary education in the same year range. Furthermore, in 2015, the United States participated in the latest program for international student assessment, PISA, measuring math, literacy, and ranked 40th in the world. Federal projections have reported there are approximately 50.8 million students attending public schools. Finally, we will cover the political theories on education. From a civic Republican view, they believe it is our job to be a good citizen. They aim to further the common good, and they believe that education is a basic need. From a liberal viewpoint, they believe that education is necessary because it encourages individuals to use reason. John Locke argues that reason makes us moral. Education is a natural right. And John Rawls holds the argument that equality of opportunity was a basic rule and felt affirmative action and was justified until we hit equality of opportunity.